And it's a cloudy morning this morning. We've been moored up here now for a few days in Oxford, and it's time to move on. We're getting the boats ready. Notice everything has been removed and lowered on the roof. Well, Tony might have a trouble with his camera because up ahead in the distance there is a very low bridge, and we've got to go under that this morning. Fingers crossed. Terrierist has decided he's going to have some fun. He's taken to Tony and Jan, and he keeps disappearing off onto their boat. Jan's fell in love with him. Here he goes, zoomies. Morning everyone. A tad chilly this morning, but welcome to life on board Amy Jo. As we leave the visitor moorings in Oxford, which we've spent the last 3 days in.
Loved it. Had a ride on the hop on, hop off bus.
Yeah, it's been really good. And we're going nice and slow because we're just about to go under a low bridge, although I think there's plenty of clearance for us.
Oh yeah.
Smudge is barking because he wants to come up, and we've got him down on the deck here at the moment, so sit back and enjoy the cruise, folks.
Yay.
Over the next 3 days sees us travelling up the River Thames, stopping off at Wallingford for the night, and then again at Eyensham Lock for the night. Finishing our cruise at a lovely little pub called the Trout by Tadpole Bridge. Mean.
That's where they moored. No, it's not up where it's like down.
It's a nice boat, Chris. Love the bow on this boat. She looks like she's a houseboat of some sort, but just look at that bow. That is stunning. Port Meadow is an ancient area of grazing land, and it's still used for horses and cattle today. According to legend, it's never actually been ploughed for at least 4,000 years. It's said that in return for helping defend the kingdom against the marauding Danes, the freemen of Oxford were given 300 acres of pasture next to the Thames by Alfred the Great, who, legend had it, has founded the city in the 10th century. As you can see, it's quite open out here. This is Port Meadow. Unfortunately no mooring, because it would be a great place for Smudge to have a run. But there you go. But we've now just come to Godstow Lock. Again, the blue sign is up, so it means it's self-service. So Chris and Jan have gone up to investigate it.
That's a big beer, isn't it?
So now in Godstow Lock, and it's filling. And the fact that we're now upriver from that low bridge as we left Oxford, I don't know whether it's coincidence, but the locks are now a lot smaller. Not as long as the ones we have had on our way up from Limehouse. Well, this is a first. We've got a traffic light and it's currently green, so that's handy. I think because they're doing some repair work on the bridge by the look of it up ahead. So we'll take it nice and slow. Just going past a nunnery ruin, although to be fair there's not that much left of it now. see quite why the traffic lights are in operation, because it's quite a blind bend there. Sadly, the weather's closed in, it started raining, we've had to put the canopy up, and so filming is going to be down to the GoPro up to now, I think, and it's starting to get very narrow again, and as you can see by the boat in front, it's actually quite twisty too. We've got some hairpins coming up now. There. I think they're steering the Titanic up there, the pair of them. Well, that was King's Lock. Just ahead of us is the Duke's Cut and the link onto the Oxford Canal. But we're not going that way just yet. We're carrying on up the Thames. And as you exit the lock, down to the right, that's Duke's Cut, which takes you up onto the Oxford Canal. Now, we're going to go up to Lechlade, which is the head of the Thames as far as navigation is concerned, and then we will come back this way and go down Duke's Cut and join the Oxford Canal. This section of the Thames, or the Isis as it's actually known at the moment, is more rural and a lot more open, as you can see. Now, I'm hoping that boat on the bank there was actually put there when the tide was high, because he ain't going anywhere at the moment. Tell Smudge is used to living on the boat. Chris has just gone down below to reboot the router for the live feed because it's frozen, and Smudge, well, he's looking for Mum. Clearly heights don't bother him, do they, mate? No. Well, we've made it to Eyensham Lock, and now we're going to start looking for some moorings. There are moorings both sides the canal, river, down upstream of the lock, and that's where we're going to try and get in if we can. So, we're in Eyensham Lock, but we're going to have a little bit of a wait. Tony and Jan are using the services, so we're going to wait for them to come in, then we're going to go on the water point, which I don't know if you can see from here is the green cabinet in the distance under the arch of the bridge, and fill up with water, and then hopefully we can find a mooring. Hey? What do you reckon? Is it all good? Do you like the lock? And do you like being on the Thames? Do you? Just upstream of the lock is a visitor moorings on the towpath side of the river. However, it's only just long enough for Amy Jo. So, in order for our live feed not to be pointing straight into a bush, we decided we'd wind Amy Jo, turn around, so that we had a better view on the camera, and a better view for us as well.
We're going on the mooring. We're going on the mooring. Yeah.
Just need to come forward a tad.
That's why I shouted when we're going on the mooring. This is the mooring from here. So you go on the water point, and our hose will reach from there. No, it's not.
We had a very settled, quiet night moored on the visitor moorings just upstream of the lock, and it's a beautiful little spot. And the visitor moorings, there's only just room for Amy Jo. I'm literally standing at the end of the visitor moorings, but we've tucked ourselves in nicely behind that bush, and it's been really sheltered here. So we've had a great night, but now it's time to move on. We don't know where we're going, but we'll just find somewhere nice and stop, because neither of us have been up this stretch, so it's all new. Well, we're underway. First job is we've got to wind the boat, so Tony's just winded the boat and let me know if the way is clear, and then I'm going to spin Amy Jo. Such are the bends on this part of the river, those boats that you can see ahead are not actually ahead, they're 90 degrees to us, and Tony has literally just gone round the corner and we're about to do the same. Some really young calves there. You see how open this place is around here. It's just fabulous scenery, it really is. Well, at this stretch of the river, it's clear that the lock landings are only designed for cruisers, because Tony is right up as far as he can go on that landing, and Chris is just got our bow in, and this is as far as we can go. So I'm going to have to hover. There's just clearly not enough lock landing. We've just been looking at the flood plaques. Seems 1894 we thought was the highest, but I don't know if you can make it out, but in red felt pen above it is July 2007. So that's quite a rise. So this is Pink Hill Lock, and there's the lock keeper's cottage. They actually live in those, unlike the ones on the canals. The lock keeper's wage is about 24 grand a year. They get a lock keeper's cottage to live in, and if they look after more than one lock, which many of them do, they get a vehicle as well. So it's not a bad life for a lock keeper. Fair to them, it's not all about locks either. They have to keep the locks clean and tidy, and as you can see, the grass is well cut, the hedge is well trimmed. Some of them have plenty of flowers, and they look generally tidy. We're just passing Bablock Caravan Park. Well, we would know them as campers or static homes abroad, but we call them caravan parks. Some of them look quite nice actually, to be fair. Quite a big caravan park, I should imagine, because it goes on for quite a long way. It's as you can see, it even disappears off into the horizon round to the left there. So quite a big site, I should think. Another lock for today. This is Northmoor Lock, and for once we've got a locky on this one. So and it fills quite quickly as well, so we shouldn't be in here too long. These are our moorings at Newbridge, and it's a bit of a challenge getting on and off the boats because the bank is nearly as high as the boats themselves. So for the first time in 9 years since we've had Amy Jo, we've had to use our boarding plank. We've never used it before, so this is the first time, and it's a bit of a struggle getting on and off, but we're moving on today, so here we go. Breakfast certainly smells nice in the pub that we've just gone past. This is the Maybush pub, and on the other side of the bridge where we were is the Rose reinvented or something. Revived. You may recognise Saoirse. It's the bears on board. We had a lovely meal in the pub last night with them. We met them for the first time. Smashing lads, they really are. And today we're continuing our cruise to the head of the Thames navigation.
Yeah.
We've just left Newbridge. I think we're headed for Radcott today, aren't we?
Yeah.
But we've just had a lovely evening.
Oh, with the bears.
With
aboard.
the bears aboard, and we had a meal in the pub. The Rose Revived, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep getting it wrong, but yeah,
It's
Rose
a
Revived.
strange name, isn't it?
Strange name, but it was a lovely pub, I must admit. Food was okay. I wouldn't say it was excellent, but it was good. It's well worth a drop in if you're ever up this way. So, as you can see behind me, the river is now narrowing down considerably. It's almost like a wide canal now.
It is, yeah.
And we've not got that much further to go. One more day, I think, and we'll be at Lechlade. So,
Yeah, not today,
forecast is not looking very good over the next couple of days, so we may find a hidey hole to hide up in and let the winds pass us by, but we'll see. Well, they forecast rain for today, and once again the rain has started. I've had to put the cover back up to keep us dry. It's that fine mizzly rain, so hopefully it won't be too much, but we'll see how we get on. The river at this point is starting to get quite narrow. I think it's because of the overgrown bushes and trees on either side, but in some places it's not much wider than a canal. Like this little stretch coming up here now, there's a bush sticking out. I can't see a thing past it. Fortunately Tony's up there on the boat, so he's paving the way for us, but as you can see it's getting quite tight now. First lock of the day, even though it was a little bit twisty getting to it. Well, this is Chifford Lock. It's quite pretty here, and of course it gives Chris and Jan opportunity to chinwag while we're in here. Short stop to fill up with water just after the lock, and Tony and Jan filled up as well while we were there. However, little disaster, I lost my wireless. I lost my little microphone in the cut. It flipped off while I was working the boat, so I've got to have to resort to using the phone one. A modern bird hide just here, a few yards away, a pillbox. Chris comes bearing gifts. Cake
and tea.
And tea. Yay. This mooring at Tadpole, the pub is called the Trout, and we're actually on the pub moorings, and to be honest I don't think we're going to find any others, so I think we're here for the night. That evening we sat out in the pub grounds and had a promptu picnic with the bears and Tony and Jan from the boat. Mum is putting the nibbles away, back in their bag. Smudge is standing there hoping that one might fall out the bowl.
They didn't, did they?
But they didn't.